Where I grew up, a river flows through a cypress forest and 20 plus miles downstream dumps into the ocean. I've fished the headwaters hundreds of times in the saltwater river, probably in the thousands. But in between hides a special place where not many people see, and that's where I'm heading. I originally had plans of paddling from river to ocean in a single day, but instead, this is truly a display of me just mentally falling apart. Oh my god! I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure if what we're trying to do today is legitimately possible, but we're going to try our best to make it happen. Now it is 6:56. I got my super cool GoPro hat on, and I definitely don't look like a doofus in. We have 3 goals this morning. Travel the 20-mile span of this river, catch a snook, a tarpon, and a largemouth bass, and get some good exercise in, which I don't think having a physical challenge today will be a problem. Here we have the first of many obstacles we'll encounter through the day. This is a saltwater intrusion dam, designed to keep the saltwater out from the inlet that pushes all the way back, and it protects the freshwater vegetation that can't tolerate the higher salinity. God, listen to those whistler ducks up there. So cool. Definitely saw a tarpon roll around this corner here earlier. Ooh, gator right there. He should leave me alone, even though last time I was in here I got in a physical altercation with one. Holy crap, you are ready to fight. Get the frick out of here, dude. These narrow corridors like this are just incredibly cool. Oh! I don't know what that was. There's so many downed trees and shallow water that I've actually pulled the pedal drive for the moment, and we're going old school paddle. Well, right now I'm standing up paddling, but this will help us move a little quicker through this stuff. I was having a pretty hard time steering with the pedal drive through these narrow turns. This is so freaking cool, man. This is so cool. Oh my god, I wasn't looking. Ooh. I was checking this, make sure there wasn't an alligator behind me. Snook, all right. Whew. Clobber it. First fish of the mission. A healthy fat snook. I found myself hyper focusing in on the paddling and the fishing and not really taking time to look around and soak in what was going on around me. When you come to a place this beautiful, the fishing should almost be secondary. The fish just happen to be the reason you go out the door, the reason you put the kayak in the water. The views and the wildlife surrounding it should be the reason you're there. And it took this barn owl landing right above me in a tree to really bring me back to reality. I remember so vividly as a teenage kid, probably about 16 years old, in my kayak alone coming down the river paddling first thing in the morning at this exact spot and coming around this corner, then into this pocket right here, and there being about a 12-foot gator laid up against the bank right there. And I mean, I came through on my kayak 10 feet away from him on the blind corner, and he just slid into the water. I remember feeling totally at mercy to whatever that gator wanted to do. I was a victim to it, but he just slid into the river. Never saw him again. Literally a 400, 500 pound animal. I couldn't see him once he slipped in. All right, I need to figure out how to get my kayak underneath this. Or through, kind of. Big old sand perch. This one shouldn't require entire deconstruction of the kayak to get under. Oh my God. Oh, sorry. How's it going?
We saw you, we were like, oh no, we're gonna scare him or she's gonna scare us. Sorry.
No, you're good, you're good. I've just been alone on the river since like 6 a.m. They're the first people I've seen. Holy largemouth bass. He's already spooked, so I'm not gonna fight him or try to catch him, but I mean, that is a stud. I think we can slide under this one. Let's go for it. Whew. I really hope we have more logs, but I'm doubtful. That was a little largemouth. Whole school of them. Dude, this is the craziest thing ever. That is a largemouth and a mangrove snapper tag team in my freaking bait. I think there's only one way around this one. It's a drag. Could be a good spot to have a snack. Perfect. Kiwi and protein bar. All right, so far, so good. It's been a fun time paddling. It's 11:30 and I am not even, I'm probably a quarter way through right now. It'll be very questionable if we can make it in time, but we've stopped for a moment to fuel up. Probably shouldn't be stopping at all, but gotta do what you gotta do. Tell you right now, kiwi, the best. And people, you're wasting your time if you're peeling this thing. You gotta just eat it, scrotum, hair, and all. Even when I'm not in a rush trying to paddle 20 miles in a day, I still just eat these bad boys like an apple. You're wasting your time if you're not doing it this way, man. When you're portaging, it's very important to check around you for alligators. And you need to keep an eye open. If you don't see any, it doesn't really mean they're not there, because they are masters of disguise. It would be so easy for, you know, a 9-foot gator to be sitting in that tall grass right there, just matted down in it. You'd never see him just whoosh, rip across. Okay. All right. Whew. Portage number 10, I don't even know. Successful, if you count the porting over and underneath down trees. Portaging, we're making it. I was just paddling and I heard a big old owl again hoot. Well, let's see if we can get him to call back to us. Woo! 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 It's literally like dredging the bottom with this swim bait. The fish. Look at that tiny little snook. Very cool. Little fat snook right there. Nice little gator on the bank. About a 6-footer. Bigger boy sitting on the bank right there. Oh man, finally made it. This is so cool. Largemouth. That was awesome. I emerged from the cypress corridor, and this is where the river really changes its shape. An old trapper cabin set out in the woods, now a historical site, almost marks the defining point where the river goes from the cypress-lined forest into the mangrove-lined river. A massive largemouth right here, but I'm like on top of him. There's no way he eats, but dude, instinct is kicking in on this fish. Dude, good lord. Oh, bunch of little snook. Oh, that's a good snook. Big snook on it. Come on, eat it. Oh, dude. There's... Oh my god. Oh my gosh. It just pulled perfectly out of his mouth. I watched him inhale the whole entire thing. What? How did he not get hooked? Literally watched the whole thing go inside of his mouth. Dude, it's like a 34, 35-inch fish. That would have been the fish of the freaking trip. I can't believe that. There's like 10 little like 20-inch snook chasing this thing around and they weren't getting it. And then this giant just pulls up in the middle of all of them. He tracked it for so long too, man. I can't believe I didn't hook him. I just swung too early, I guess. Literally watch the bait disappear into his mouth. Seems like the perfect spot for a tarpon to be hanging out. Deep cut on that side of the river, overhang, got logs. Ooh, nice snook under it. Multiple of them. Oh, they saw me. Multiple fat snook just came right out from underneath this log. Oh, big old mangrove snappers on this thing. Those are all mangrove snappers down there. If you can see them swimming around, it's probably hard in the GoPro. Oh, giant snook just swam right by my kayak. Dude, monster. Probably 0% chance of eating, but that was a giant. Absolute schmagnum. Oh, that was cool to see. We're gonna throw top water because it's a little overcast right now. Rain like this for an hour and a half now. Oh, on me. Ooh, giant! I just ran out of real estate, man. I had nowhere else to go. He was about to eat it against my kayak. That was a 40. Oh, giants right here. Oh my gosh, just running out of space. There's another one right here. Dude, he's looking for it. He is looking for it. There's a stack of snook right here. Oh! Dude, come on. They are on top of it. They're just not closing the deal. I'm running out of space on them, man. It was a long day paddling through the rain, and I finally hit my limit after missing a handful of fish. Originally, the goal of this video was to paddle from the headwaters of the river all the way to the ocean and fish the whole entire way through, which is over a 20-mile paddle and probably closer to 25 if you really considered the bending and snaking of the river. And I realized about halfway through the paddle, probably 8 miles in, that it's not possible to fish it and paddle it in the same day. You could paddle it in the same day, but you couldn't have a solid fishing effort while doing it. And unfortunately, I figured that out a little too late. And I kind of had half-ass fishing and half-ass paddling and combined them into one thing. But all things considered, man, the journey is where it's at. And I know that's cheesy or cliche to say, you know, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. But that really was true for me on this day, that the paddling and seeing the barn owls and the alligators and the crystal clear water and even just seeing some giant fish was totally worth it. And it was really just an amazing day, even if I was getting extremely frustrated towards the end with getting poured on for 2 hours and losing some big fish, or at least not getting chances on big fish. I have to give mad props to anybody who can fish out of a kayak really well. I don't think I have it in me. Like, I don't know what it is. I find it so challenging to fish out of a kayak. Even though it was a failed mission, I was really proud of getting out there and doing it. It was just a ton of fun, man. And I encourage anyone to go explore remote places, because that's where some of the most fun still exists in this world, in the outdoors, is the places where not a lot of people go. And sometimes it's in your backyard, man. I literally had to drive 5 minutes to go launch my kayak, and that's the dream. And you found somewhere so remote and prehistoric looking that it looked like it should be in Jurassic Park. Sorry for the lack of videos. If you keep up to date really well, you'll see that I'm in a totally different spot right here that looks totally different. It's because my wife and I moved, and the past 2 months or so have been the most hectic, stressful, frustrating things of buying and selling a house in this current market has been absurd. But we're finally starting to settle in the new place, and the video should be flowing out much more regularly, so I'm really excited about that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, just make sure you like it, subscribe, leave a comment, whatever, all that crap. Until next video, peace.